bringing it to you always. Always. Yo, what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Orange and black, we rebuild the pack. No matter where we at, you know we coming back. Section 336, we on this, so tune in. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Yeah, welcome to Birdland. You know what's up? Welcome to Birdland. Birdland. Now, here come the boys from Section 336.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Baltimore sports fans of all ages, welcome to Section 336, Next Generation Baltimore Sports Talk. I am the endearingly stuttering host, Matt Sroka. As always, I'm joined by a guy who would never cut me out of our daddy's inheritance, the button lover, Josh Sroka.
Yeah, when do we is it appropriate yet to start this lawsuit? I mean, I had the same opening as you that I was gonna sue you. I mean, that's what brothers are supposed to do right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Josh, if and much to my regret, I love my dad. Unfortunately, my dad is not, a billionaire who owns a sports team. That's on him, right? That I'm not going to have the privilege of inheriting a team one day. That's really on him. And it's sad for me that I don't get a chance to inherit a baseball team.
I wish there was something Josh, I could sue you over.
Do you think if we were in that situation, I feel like we would definitely end with fighting over control of the team and suing each other. I could totally see it going that way.
Well, here's what I get. So Lou's the little brother. So in this case, you're Lou, right?
Sure. And
Lou's
you're John.
Brother. Well, they were both in their 20s when Peter bought the team, right?
Right.
So it's not like they grew up as kids around this baseball organization.
Right. They were young adults. Yeah.
They were grown men.
Yeah.
So, we would be out in the yard wrestling in the grass over this.
Yeah.
We want to be taking this to a courtroom. We would be out in the yard.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and we'll get into it, but my favorite thing in the article is when they get petty. And there's some petty stuff.
Oh, there's so much pettiness in this.
Which I love.
And now the pettiness, what I love is that the whole article is all on Lou's side of the story.
Yes, of
which
course.
Is all the pettiness.
His attorneys it's all his attorneys' quotes. Yeah.
There's just made up stuff in there to try to get people on their side. And I love John's response because John doesn't put out a response himself. He has the Orioles put out the response.
Yeah.
In other words, he just sits there and be like, yeah, I run this team. Here's my response.
Yeah.
I manage this team so well that this team is putting out my response instead of some random lawyer.
Yeah, though that in some ways, I guess, might contribute to Lou's case that it's not 50-50, that John's really
50-50.
As well as, but Josh, I would do the same thing if I was in this position. I would be pulling out, if it was me and you, I'd be pulling out old pictures of you in a Marlins shirt and I'd be posting them online. I'd be saying, look, Josh just married a girl from Florida. He used to wear Marlins gear.
Right. Exactly.
I heard he liked Tim Tebow, like all this stuff to try to persuade people that you're going to move the team to Jacksonville. Yeah.
Exactly. Josh moved to Jacksonville a few years ago. He hasn't even been to a game in Baltimore yet this year.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
He always talks about how much he loves Jacksonville. He's got Buc-ee's. He's already in talks with Buc-ee's as a sponsor, I heard.
Right.
I'm not sure if it's true, but I heard that.
Yeah, right. The owner of Buc-ee's got to help me bring it down. Yeah. Totally makes sense. I just wish we had this $1 billion baseball team to argue over.
No, yeah, and that's not on us, Josh. That's on our dad.
That's on Dad.
That's on Dad. No, that's not our problem.
Yeah,
that was his fault. He failed us there.
But that's the funny thing is, what I don't understand, and I get like billionaires are billionaires, whatever. Their kids are spoiled. Apparently, even at 25, if our dad bought a team. Let's say our dad did own a major league sports team.
Yeah. I mean, our dad owns Bupkis, but okay.
Right.
Our dad's going to give me no company I'll be inheriting worth millions of dollars. Nothing.
Right. I got that. You've made that very clear.
Yeah.
No inheritance for us. Got it. All right. So, all right. So let's just play this game with me. So dad owns this $1 billion baseball team.
Okay.
You and I are in our 20s. We're huge baseball fans. We're huge Oriole fans.
Yeah.
We kind of encourage and push dad to buy this team.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire. He's got more money than he knows what to do with. Go buy the team.
Yeah.
If I'm 28, 29, if I'm 22, I am at that point, I'm quitting my job, no matter what type of job I have, and I'm getting a job in that baseball organization, and I'm working my way up in that baseball organization. Not as a baseball player, obviously,
Well,
but it's like,
if you could,
get me
yeah.
in the management track.
Yeah.
This isn't a rookie of the year moment, but this is a get me in this team. John Angelos, I don't know what he's done for this team before he became the acting director. Lou Angelos, I know he spoke at one of the statue games, or he was there at one of the statue games. I don't know what else Lou Angelos has done before this.
Yeah.
Peter, we at least all hate. I get that.
Yeah.
And now I know that people hate John because his name is Angelos.
Well, Peter might turn out to be the hero of this story, though. Just hold on and wait for it. He might turn out to be the hero
Maybe.
because he doesn't want to go anywhere. Yeah.
But John is at least coming back with the good responses. John's coming back, but it's all this. You know what? I will take all of this family drama, though. Everyone complains, oh, this is the worst owner in sports, whatever. It's not. I would take all this family drama over what Redskin fans have to deal with Dan Snyder.
Yeah, that's probably true. And we can get into that. I mean, we're all talking about the article that was posted on the banner earlier this week. And we get into some of the quotes.
Yeah,
it's also
the Baltimore Banner.
Yeah,
what a great! I've never heard of the Baltimore Banner
until now. I had not either until this.
But they had the right headline. It was the guy from the Sun,
Justin Fenton. Yeah,
Justin Fenton.
Yeah,
who also didn't Justin write the book that the HBO show is based on?
Isn't that really? Also about Fenton? The Gun Trace Task Force?
I think that's Justin Fenton as well.
Yeah, I mean,
so they had
right at the bottom of Sun for years and years and years. Yeah,
right. They had a big name, and they had the juiciest article because we all love drama about this family, and nothing ever comes out about this family. We hate this family. We hate this family. We hate this family. We all subject and make opinions about what this family does and what this family thinks of the Orioles. And we all pretend like we know what this family does. And now we've got an article full of juicy details.
Oh man, this is like, I mean, this is the HBO show Succession, right? This is Succession, but in kind of real life. And it reminds me so much of, I saw this play out years ago with when Jerry Falwell Sr. died, and Jonathan Falwell and Jerry Falwell, his two kids fought it out for Liberty University and who gets their own Liberty.
Oh, so
and how they decided it.
You're saying John Angelos might have a pool boy.
How they decided it, yeah. I mean, who knows? In this scenario, yeah, who knows? In that scenario, Jonathan got the church, the huge church down there, and Jerry Jr. got the school, though that didn't work out very well to Jerry Jr.
So would you prefer the team or the TV network?
Yeah, if you divide it that way. I mean, obviously the team.
Right. Yeah, the TV network's second fiddle.
Yeah, so anyway, a couple kind of highlights from the quote. Here's just reading from the quote. This is according to the lawsuit that Lou is filing against John, right? Lou in his lawsuit claims that John, quote, John intends to maintain absolute control of the Orioles to manage the seller, even if he chooses to move to Tennessee, where he has a home and where his wife's career is headquartered, without having to answer anyone. So this is the headline,
which is total crap.
Like the article that he could move to Tennessee with the team, confirming what Nestor has been saying for years,
right?
And all of the Orioles' worst fears.
And
why is this nonsense, Josh?
This is nonsense.
I agree with you, but why is it nonsense?
One, it was put in there specifically to get the good PR, specifically to get Oriole fans behind your back. It was in there to say John Angelos controls the team. In fact, he controls the team so well, he can put himself up at second base and play if he wants. That's basically equivalent of what they're saying.
Yeah, and by the way, Josh,
so he can do whatever he wants.
Go back to your previous point. Don't you, if your dad was the owner of a baseball team, you would demand that you play on the field. I don't want to hear that.
No, I want. Well, yeah, yes and no. Not in the game, but I would definitely be like rookie of the year with my friends out there playing some softball when the team's away.
Yeah, but that was the premise of the quote, was that he has absolute control of the Orioles and he can do what he wants with it.
Right.
And then they list a bunch of things he could do, including moving to Tennessee.
Right. And the things that he could do were just
he could also move it to Mars, right? He could also
he can also discount. He can discount hot dogs to 50 cents. He can make the team wear pink uniforms. He can do whatever he wants. And that was the whole point, is he can do whatever he wants. Let's list what's going to freak Oriole fans out. And there's a multitude of reasons why moving to Nashville is not possible.
And they put in parentheses where he has a home and where his wife's career is headquartered. They put that in parentheses too.
Exactly.
Just
Exactly.
to highlight it, yeah.
In fact, he can move to Nashville because here's all the other stuff that Nestor and others have subjected.
Yeah. But it's
right.
ridiculous for a lot of reasons. Do you want to talk about why it's ridiculous?
Here's a few reasons why it can't happen.
Yeah.
Nashville is going to get a baseball team. We all know Nashville, Portland, and Montreal are going to get baseball teams in the next 10 years.
Hopefully, yeah.
Makes sense. Baseball doesn't want to move a team. They want to expand a team. They want expansion and have more teams, more money.
Yep.
If expansion doesn't work, okay, they'll move a team. You need 75% of the owners to agree to move a team.
Yeah.
Camden Yards is the best stadium in baseball. Major League Baseball will never vote to let's leave this stadium empty.
I mean, how much drama, Josh? Right now it's happening in Oakland. It's happening with the Commanders.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
So much drama is centered around finding a stadium and financing a stadium and finding a spot for a stadium. It is so much work, so much money to get a stadium.
Right. So if you want to be serious about a team that could possibly move to Nashville, if there is no expansion, you got to look at a team like Tampa and Oakland that has low attendance and the worst stadiums in baseball. Stadiums are so important. Now I get the argument. We did talk about the fact that crime is really bad in Baltimore, and that's scaring people away. But crime is really bad in St. Louis, and they're winning baseball games and packing their stadium.
Bad everywhere, yeah, in all major cities.
Yeah, but I think St. Louis at this moment had a higher gun deaths or something. I was reading in Baltimore.
Okay, I don't know.
I don't know, something like that. But anyway, it doesn't matter because winning baseball brings you into the stadiums, and we have the nicest stadium in all of baseball. You're not going to move a team out of Baltimore.
And also, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Nashville a smaller market than Baltimore? I would imagine it's a smaller market.
It's growing. Baltimore's shrinking, and Nashville's growing.
Okay.
So I don't
that might not be true in 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure how it marks as a TV network either, because remember, the Orioles market bleeds into there because there's no baseball team. So it bleeds into North Carolina, South Carolina, as long as the Braves do as well. Right. So that might be a larger TV network, depending on the size of the footprint.
Right.
But either way, Nashville, because it's a dumping coming team. Oh, and I forgot Vegas. Nashville and Vegas are your number 1 and number 2 for cities getting teams.
Yeah, I agree.
But the point is, it's not the Orioles. The Orioles aren't going anywhere. John Angelo, the $1.2 billion into the Camden Yards facility. Remember, we just talked about that like a month and a half ago, 2 months. John Angelos before saying as long as Fort McHenry is there. Now, I don't know. The way we're tearing down statues and stuff, Fort McHenry might go away. But either way, his point remains that Camden Yards will be there.
Oh, you think he said that purposely? And then he'll go tear down Fort McHenry so he can say I wasn't lying?
You know what? Yeah, he's saying, you know what? Woke culture might take this down. Let's go attack Fort McHenry because I got to get out of here.
Well, here's some other quotes.
If he wanted to do that, he would pick something besides Fort McHenry. He'd be like, as long as that Ray Lewis statue is outside of M&T, and that he can go pull it down in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And everyone, John Angelo said it, reinforced it all again in his statement to the Orioles today. And I know everyone's response is, oh, this means the Orioles are leaving because the owner of the Colts said he wasn't leaving either. Different times, different situation, different everything. The Orioles aren't going anywhere.
All right, here's another quote. Well, this is from the article from the Banner. It says, the suit says a top priority of Angelos' wife, Georgia, has been to sell the team, and an advisor went about trying to negotiate a sale in 2020. Josh, I don't remember being aware of them selling the team or trying to sell the team in 2020. I didn't know his wife really wanted to sell the team.
John's wife or Peter's wife?
Peter's wife.
Yeah, I understand Peter's wife wanting to sell the team because she's tired of the infighting. Thanksgiving, they're all fighting at the table.
You probably want to sell the team. Yeah,
this is what would happen at us. If we're at dinner at Thanksgiving and Easter and every family event, we're there, and you and I are fighting over the team, and Dad's incapacitated because he had a stroke or fell down or whatever happened to Peter. Mom's going to say every single time, let's just sell the team and stop the fighting.
Yeah, everyone get a few $100 million and go home happy.
Yeah, take your $100 million, go do whatever you want to do with that. Go buy a minor league team or something. I'm tired of this fighting. I'm getting the Orioles. I'm getting rid of the Orioles. Makes total sense. It's what mom would do when we were kids fighting over something. You get rid of the thing that they're fighting over.
Yeah. The suit also claims that John Angelos forced out former star center fielder and Orioles Hall of Famer Brady Anderson from his front office role because he quote presented a threat.
Yeah, this is the funnest part of the entire thing.
Agreed.
Who did he cause who did he threaten?
Brady Anderson?
Yeah.
Who did he
threat?
I guess. I mean, what's implied here is that he was a threat to take over the club. I don't think that's the threat. What was the threat?
I think the threat was to the players. I think it was the awkward. I think John Angelos got rid of Brady, which I think was a good thing because he was suiting up in the locker room and then going ratting out to ownership.
Right. So that's what we always suspected.
He was a spy.
We always suspected that Brady Anderson was put in there by the Angeloses as a spy, but here he's fired by John Angelos, which makes it clear he was clearly hired as a spy for Lou, right?
For Lou. Yeah, he was Lou's spy because Lou and Brady were close.
And Lou was mad that his spy was fired.
Exactly. Maybe he was going out to Peter and to Lou, but the spy got fired. He was not a threat to John Angelos.
But we always would joke and wonder about what is Brady Anderson's exactly role here? Is he in management? Is he a player, coach? Why is he suiting up? What's his job description here?
Right.
What's his qualifications? But now it becomes clearer. He's Lou's guy.
He was a spy.
He's Lou's guy. And in this power struggle, it's better to be John's guy than to be Lou's guy.
Right. And in this power struggle, doesn't it make you now be like, okay, you know what? Maybe John does know what's best for the team. He got rid of the spy.
Yeah, that's
a good
John.
move.
That's points to John for getting rid of Brady.
Right. And sorry, I like Brady. I like Brady a lot. This isn't getting rid of Cal Ripken or Brooks Robinson or Eddie Murray.
Josh, it's a former Orioles Hall of Famer, Brady Anderson.
I believe the suit said Orioles legend.
Yeah.
Legendary Orioles Brady Anderson.
But Josh, it says that John Angelos forced out Brady Anderson from his front office because he presented a threat. Presumably it presented a threat to John Angelos. What threat did he present to John Angelos?
The threat was
but what do you think? What is Lou arguing here? I don't understand what Lou's arguing here. What was Brady gonna overthrow John somehow?
Maybe he was going to his dad and ratting out to Lou and Dad. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
there was no threat because that's like my boss firing me, the owner of the company firing me because I am a threat to ownership. That I am going to take over ownership from him. That's not how business works. So I don't think there's anything Lou's trying to say except for, oh, my brother didn't like Brady Anderson, and we all love Brady Anderson. I think that's all he was trying to say.
But he says here, here's the next quote. The lawsuit says that, quote, John unilaterally and without consultation ordered general manager Mike Elias to fire Anderson. Listen, Mike Elias fired a lot of people. Mike Elias, I'm pretty sure on his own was going to fire Brady Anderson, right?
Yes,
Brady Anderson's no Saber analytic guru that Mike Elias would stick around. There's
part of this also. I think the Brady fired also takes me back to, all right, so Brady was just a spy, and I accept that. Brady was a spy.
Right.
Don't you feel bad for Dan Duquette and Buck Showalter that they had to deal with Brady the spy?
Yeah, I would be curious to see.
I want these guys.
Brady Anderson kind of fascinates me.
Because remember, one fan fest, he was up on stage with the guys, with Dan Duquette and Buck Showalter.
Yeah.
As if it was this trio.
Yeah. But I don't even know what his title was. But Sam Dingman, now that he's done the rumor, needs to do a new podcast.
The Brady Files?
On Brady. Yeah. On Brady Anderson and interview Buck Showalter, interview Dan Duquette, interview Mike Elias, interview Lou in there for a different take. And it'll be fascinating about Brady Anderson's time here.
Right. The problem is nobody speaks out about any of this. We're getting all this information from a lawyer.
Yeah, and this is stuff that happened right when Mike Elias was hired,
comments.
3 years ago or whatever. It says, in addition, the lawsuit alleges John fired longtime employees who would not play ball and surrounded himself with yes men.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, lots of owners do that. I mean, lots of business people do that. And who were they? Were they yes men, or were they like he fired Lou's guys?
Yeah, this is again all from Lou's perspective.
Right.
How would Lou identify a yes man? I mean, Mike Elias, just for the record, he hired Mike Elias, right? Mike Elias
yeah.
doesn't seem like a yes man, right?
Now,
Like Mike Elias doesn't seem like a guy who said, "Okay, I'll come here and I'll just do whatever you want me to do." No, Mike Elias kind of flipped everything on its head.
Right. Now, when Mike Elias was introduced, Lou and John were both there.
Yes.
So they made it at least appear like this was a team joint decision.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, go on.
I guess, I mean, I'll read on and get your response. It says the lawsuit reveals a rift between Peter and John Angelos, with John, quote, openly displaying his disregard for his father's prerogative as the managing partner of the team. There was also bitter, regular conflict over John's failure to pass the bar after attending law school.
Oh,
that's the petty stuff.
This is petty stuff. This is you coming out and saying, "Well, Josh didn't even graduate from college."
Yep, and like bringing out transcripts. I'm surprised we didn't get like GPAs in here.
Exactly. Josh had this GPA in high school.
Yeah.
Right. Remember that time when Josh was 17 and he crashed the car? That's what you're bringing up. You're bringing up petty stuff.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with
with
the argument here.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't drag his wife. Well, no, you did drag his wife into it, saying, "Oh, she lives in Nashville. She's focused on Nashville."
Yeah, you are drugged. Yeah,
the wife dragged the wife in.
Yeah, she's been drugged.
She's been drugged. She's been dragged.
She's been drugged.
Different words.
I mean, that's one of my favorite lines of the whole article. I love that.
Yeah, the pass the bar.
Didn't pass the bar after.
Right. And sorry,
John's failure to pass the bar after attending law school.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, John doesn't need to pass the bar. He's working on a baseball team.
Right. And and I guess if you want to pass the bar, I'm sure John would have preferred to pass the bar. It doesn't say like he kept on trying. Like he clearly didn't. I mean, I don't think he wanted to go in that field, right? Like he's got the baseball team, but
right. I assume
I feel like John would have a different take on that.
The bar.
Yeah, I don't know what Lou's credentials here are. I wish John would come out with a response to this. That would make me happy.
Yeah. Lo Angelos is a fast casual Italian place. It's fun. You Google Louis Angelos, and it's everyone talking about this story.
Yeah. So it says John subverted. Here's more quotes from the lawsuit. John subverted his father's intentions and acted unilaterally without advance disclosure to or consultation with Mrs. Angelos or Lou. So it seems like a lot of this hinges on the fact unilaterally is kind of quoted here, I don't know, 10 times this article, that John is acting not as a 50-50 partner with Lou.
Right.
And I would imagine, Josh, I just imagine, this is why I think it would end with a lawsuit with us too. When you're running a team, there's a lot of decisions to be made. I would imagine it could be challenging to be on the same page with your brother 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And have to like clear every decision with your brother. And like clearly I think, I would think I'm doing a better job than you are. You would think you're doing a better job than I am.
Right.
And I could totally see how conflict could happen here. And one person's making decisions without consulting the other person. Like that's
why it's good that Section 336 makes no money.
Yes.
We have nothing to argue over.
Yes.
I will say I was just pulled up Louis Angelos and John Angelos' Twitter, and it's hilarious to me that John Angelos' Twitter bio says chairman and CEO of the Baltimore Orioles. Louis Angelos says ownership representative, Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think to Lou's point, John he seems the kind of guy who dots his I's and crosses his T's here.
He's the older brother too.
He is, yeah. Like he seems
so it's not like this is the first time they've had this fight.
Yeah.
They've had this fight their entire life growing up.
Yeah, and John probably got the better of him. More times.
That's what older brothers do. That's how it goes.
So this is talking about when Mr. Angelos had the stroke. It says the plan also called for transfer Mr. Angelos' interest in the Orioles into his revocable trust as a prelude to a sale. The suit says Georgia Angelos, that's the wife of Peter Angelos, was anxious to implement this plan. It says instead John sprang into action, creating a leadership team with himself positioned as chairman and CEO, and no mention of Lou or their mother.
Yep.
Louis Angelos claims his brother fed their mother misinformation regarding both the team and Luke. Because now it gets more personal, Josh.
Oh,
Fed
misinformation.
their mother misinformation.
Keyword
regarding
of the
both
past
the
2
team
years, misinformation.
and Lou. He
I heard
harangued her over the telephone, angrily feeding her half-truths and outright fabrications that paralyzed her with confusion, fear, and indecision.
Oh. At what point does Lou bring up where John Angelos was on January 6th?
Yeah. I mean,
this
this is Josh.
Remember, at the same time, though, we went through this drama. We had this discussion here where Major League Baseball was getting irritated at the Angelos family, saying, one of you has to be in charge. Tell us who's in charge. We need one of you to be in charge. And that's when John Angelos became the CEO, chairman, whatever guy.
Yeah. But Josh, this happens, right? You get in a fight with dad. We talk to mom. We say one thing to mom, right? It gets back, and we say, no, that's not what I said. Misinterpret. Like you go to mom as being that, that third wheel or whatever, and then you try to argue your side of the case. And it sounds like poor Lou here is on the losing end of a lot of these arguments that's being argued with mom.
Was it Jacob and Esau in the Bible where like the mom and the little brother teamed up to like put hair on his arms?
Put hair on Jacob's arm to make Jacob be all hairy.
To trick the old guy who was
misinformation
with some misinformation. That's what this reminds me of. Is let's go trick the old guy who's incapacitated, who's somehow still alive, but we need to trick him into giving me the blessing as CEO and chairman.
Yeah. But I also like how this is a huge lawsuit, and like it goes to like there's shots in there like you didn't pass the bar, and shots in there like you called mom
drama.
And you told mom this and that wasn't true. You weren't telling the truth to mom.
Right. The misinformation means that on the phone you were telling your mom your side of the story.
Yep. And then it gets into more specific examples about how John did things and didn't tell Lou, and Lou got mad. And then it ends with this. The Orioles were valued at $1.375 billion by Forbes. And isn't that crazy? The Orioles are valued at $1.375 billion.
And the only team to go down in their value this past year.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, and it was funny in the Forbes article, they had no reason for it to go down except for poor ownership. Like it was like whoever wrote that article also hates the Orioles and their ownership.
Yeah. Josh, do you think, all right, so we dispel the notion that they're moving to Nashville.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
How about
what's your takeaway from this article? Is it just fun, entertaining drama, or is there something behind here that maybe Oriole fans should be a little concerned or bothered by?
There's definitely concern. I will say it makes me like John Angelos a little more. I think John Angelos comes out of this looking better.
And John Angelos, to his credit, he's always seemed to said the right thing, right? Yeah. Like with social justice issues, with other things, he seems to be kind of on the right side of things. Yeah.
And the thing that like everything that he put in here to try to make John look bad sounds like pettiness or it's just straight made up stuff. And I know there's plenty of Oriole fans who are going to grab on to that whole move to Nashville. But it's silly. It's not
because in the context, he has the power to do what he wants, including moving to a different state. Oh, and by the way, his wife lives in Tennessee. Yeah,
right. Exactly. Yeah. His wife's a songwriter in Nashville, so clearly that means the Orioles are moving to Nashville.
Right.
So I think John comes out looking better in this with Lou's. So the whole article to me reminds me of a younger brother whining to mom.
Yeah, I don't know who leaked this article.
No one leaked this.
I mean, who leaked the lawsuit? I guess it's not leaked the lawsuit, or is it publicly?
It's been filed.
Oh, so that's
public filing.
Oh, because I was saying like this is something that John's people, I would imagine, would want out there, not Lou's people.
Exactly, but I think that Lou's people think that all the pettiness that the Lou's family's lawyers putting in this is because they think that it'll make Lou look good. Which I don't get. It makes Lou look so much worse.
Yeah,
it's almost like Better Call Saul. Do you watch Better Call Saul?
No.
Better Call Saul is the prequel to Breaking Bad, and there's a lot of this family drama of Saul Goodman and his older brother, who's also a lawyer, and pettiness because one doesn't like the way the other acts.
Right.
And it's this whole younger brother, older brother mentality between lawyers. And that's all that this is going on. Now, to back up, there is a slight concern for Oriole fans, as you were saying.
Yeah.
And that is finances. Because depending on how the courts handle this, the courts could easily say, hey, this is a serious lawsuit, freeze all spending until this is settled.
Right.
They could do that. They haven't, but there's concern of
this
stuff
could be
like
Masson 2.0 is what you're saying.
Right, exactly. Right. Did the Masson lawsuit ever end?
No, I think it's still out there.
Right.
I mean,
so
yeah,
that would be the fear that this would drag on for years and years at the time where we really need the Orioles to spend money.
Right. That's how I, like, after kind of getting through the article and just being kind of blown away by some of the quotes and the pettiness. Yeah. My next thought was, okay, how does this impact the Orioles signing Carlos Correa next year? What's the impact on Carlos Correa signing? And on the one hand, when you hear rumors about selling teams, and I no indication that John wants to sell the team, by the way, but that Peter Angelos' wife wants to sell the team, which I get. And I don't know the exact, state of health of Peter, obviously. But
it can't be good.
Right, it can't be good. But any idea of selling the team, for the most part, I would take as a positive, not a negative. Because selling the team, I mean, you see what happened with the Mets. I'm not saying we're going to get the Mets owner, but this ownership, doesn't seem, financially to be. They seem to be a little bit stingy. So maybe a new ownership would, spend more. But the infighting, I don't want an organization at the top. I mean, one of the things that's making this work, this whole rebuild, or as Buster Olney calls it, tanking.
Right. Well, we'll get to Buster.
Yeah, because he was quick to tweet. He was quick to tweet.
Oh, and this was the headline. This was definitely a story on his podcast immediately.
Oh, I didn't listen to the podcast yet.
Oh, yeah. He was on Friday's podcast. Right.
Within minutes of John Angelos' post, he was tweeting about it. But anyway, what was I talking about? But any type of fighting at the top, and lack of cohesion is concerning because you want everyone to be on the same page.
Anything and that I don't want focus off the field.
Yeah, I don't want a co-owner trying to sabotage things just because he's mad at his brother, right? Like, I don't want him in there trying to sneak in people or do whatever just because he's mad at his brother. Like, I want that to be whatever. I want Lou to be an island by himself, for there to be peace. Like, I want there to be peace at the top.
Right.
So we can sign Carlos Correa, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah. One of my favorite Twitter or Facebook responses from Oriole fans, clearly one of the fans that believes that John's going to move the team, was this season is now set up to be a great comeback story of the team that's struggling under 500, gets a cardboard cutout of John Angelos in the dugout with a big sign about him moving to Nashville, and every win they remove a piece of clothing from him.
Yeah.
And then we win the whole thing. So
and John,
I like
every time we win a game, John gets angry somewhere.
Right.
Throwing
we see John up in his box all angry.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, so I mean, my takeaway is, like, first of all, I love it. I'm totally intrigued. I'm like, bring on the drama. I hope it doesn't have any. I hope it doesn't trickle down to any negative effects. I hope we.
You love the drama, but you don't want it to affect the team that you love.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where Buster inserts himself. Friday on the podcast, he had no problem tearing into the Angelos family. Monday, he responds to John Angelos's comments with this tweet: the numbers to watch the years ahead are the payroll for the Orioles. If they don't spend significantly more, they will not evolve beyond the ATM machine they've been for ownership for recent seasons. And you can see just in that little comment by Buster saying the ATM machine. He puts in his agenda right in there. And he brings out, in 2019, the Orioles payroll was $80 million. In 2022, they were $23 million. So that's a 60-game season. So you have to do the math that's probably around a $60, $70 million payroll.
Right.
If it was a full season. 2021, $57 million. 2022, $43 million. Now, what I don't, and I want.
First of all, the only reason those previous payrolls were so high is because you were still dealing with the contracts of Alex Cobb and Chris Davis and Jimenez, and you had to get those off the books first. Right. Yeah. Okay.
So we spent extra money for no benefit on those seasons. But what I really want someone to call Buster out on these is look beyond the payroll. Look at the money spent in the Dominican Republic on that new facility. Look at all the equipment built for the minor leagues to get better updated analytics. Look at building out an analytic department. Look at moving the wall and the money there. Look at where else ownership is putting money into this team beyond the payroll. That's what someone needs to call Buster out on, and I'm not seeing that. That's the conversation Buster needs to have, with like a serious conversation, instead of let's hate on the Orioles. Let's see what the Orioles are actually doing instead of an ATM machine for ownership. If the Orioles were just an ATM machine for ownership, you would not have this family infighting, because they would just be making money. Hand over fist.
I mean, I don't know. I would love to see the Orioles books and see how much they made or didn't make over the past few years. But I agree with you. That's always been my, there's no nuance in this discussion. And for some reason, the other thing I think that drives Oriole fans crazy is, the Astros did the same thing.
Yes.
Right now, there's half a dozen teams doing it. The Reds are doing it. The Tigers are doing it.
The Orioles are the bad guys.
But the Orioles keep on getting called out, and the other teams, they're doing it. And it's not good. But Buster really doesn't talk about them. He just talks about the Orioles, the Orioles, the Orioles, the Orioles. Well, it's almost like this obsession with them.
Well, and it's because, guess what? The Baltimore Sun had a great sports department in the 90s.
My gosh, every big name.
And all those guys
Baltimore
got frustrated at the Angelos family, and then now got national markets.
Peter,
yes, at Peter.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. And yeah, there should be a nuanced discussion, but at the same breath, Josh, as Oriole fans, you and I both have said probably should have spent more money on starting pitching this year, right?
Yes.
Like they could have and should have spent more money on the major league squad, even with all that stuff going in the minors. They should have spent more money on the major league squad. And like Buster, I mean, I disagree with all the others, his obsession, but I agree with him, and we talked about it here all the time. What they do next year and the year after is going to say a lot about the direction of this franchise for the next 10, 20 years, right? What they do next year and the year after. Because the prospects are here. Now you have to supplement with major league talent if you want to be continually successful. And will they be willing to sign Carlos Correa? Will they be willing to sign, a starting pitcher, if not two starting pitchers who are not Jordan Lyles, but are number 2, number 3 rotation guys? I think that's what we have to find out.
Got it. Yeah. And
so with that, I'm with Buster, but with the obsession and lack of nuance, I'm with you.
Right. No, but that's the thing is Buster's comment about watching the payroll. That's true. That's real. That's something we need to pay attention to.
And we talked about it here all the time.
Yeah, we do.
But Buster said, but we also talk about, their commitment to improving the, international talent, the total change about how we, grow our prospects. And Buster never talks about any of that. Yeah.
Right. Has anyone reached out to Brady Anderson to try to get his opinion on all this?
That's what I'm saying. That's Sam Dingman needs to do the podcast.
I know. I did a quick Google on Brady, and the latest news on Brady's Wikipedia is that in 2020, he began dating a South Korean American singer, actress, and ballerina named Stephanie. And
he's a good-looking guy. Not surprised.
Yeah.
Does he have a Twitter? Josh, can you reach out to him?
He does
Twitter
not have a Twitter. I was looking for his Twitter. He does not
LinkedIn?
have he does not have a Twitter. I will check for a LinkedIn. I'm not seeing a LinkedIn.
Facebook, MySpace.
He was on episode 14 of Sabrina Through the Looking Glass in 1997.
Okay, that's not very relevant.
Let's see, Brady Anderson LinkedIn. There are 100 Brady Andersons on LinkedIn.
Yeah, too common of a name.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
Yep. And I don't see any super tan guys.
All right. Well, Josh, you can continue that research.
No leather
I want to talk
jackets.
about the play on the field this past week for the Orioles. We went up to Kansas City.
Wait, was there baseball games this week?
There was actual baseball games in the midst of all this off the field drama. Went into Kansas City. Kansas City had the worst record in the American League.
Yeah.
Easy sweep, or what? I mean, before that, we did sweep the Cubs. All right, let's give the Orioles a little bit of credit. We swept the
Cubs.
Was
one game. One game.
We still swept them.
It's not a one game. You can't call it a sweep when the game was postponed because of
Josh, we win every game of the series.
Yeah, we did.
All right.
Kind of. It's on hold.
Every game of the series that was played. Yeah. And then we go to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Again, worst record in the American League. You think we're
Seven,
gonna
right? Lost
look at their-
7-5, lost 8-1.
Yeah, you look at their pitching staff. Everyone on their pitching staff, I feel like, has an ERA over 7. Yet somehow we lost the first 2 games of that series, and things were looking ugly. And thankfully, thanks to Richie Martin, we bounced back and win the next 2 games to split the KC
Adley
series.
stepped in there a little bit too.
Well, Adley had the big 3-hit game, a couple doubles. He's been hitting the ball hard lately, which is good. And Richie Martin, it's great to see Richie Martin up. Josh, you don't want to split with Kansas City. You want to win that series.
Right.
But after the first 2 games, it was nice to come back with the split. And I was really thrilled for Richie Martin, not just getting able to play, but actually not just getting the call up, but getting to start each game and actually playing really well. So it was fun to see Richie Martin out there. And it was good to see Adley Rutschman with the 3 hits. I don't know.
It shows you how much starting pitching matters. With this team. It's all about starting pitching. And we spent no money on starting pitching. Right now, the Orioles are 4 wins above where they were last year.
Yeah.
At this time, which is good. It's an upswing. We don't have Grayson Rodriguez. He got hurt. We would have seen him this week.
Yep.
We don't have John Means.
Yep.
That
arguably
really
our
stinks.
2 best starting pitchers. Yeah.
Right. We spent no money on pitching, as you were saying before. If we had those 2 guys, we'd be much closer to 500.
Yeah.
If you had John Means for the entire season, if you had Grayson Rodriguez for 1 start right now, I would be getting excited for this team.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a few more wins. I think that than you're at right now.
I mean, we're 26-35.
Yeah.
It definitely puts you 30-35, if not higher.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can think maybe a 29-32 or something at this point instead of 26-35.
Well, that's what I'm saying. 30 and 31, something like that. It would be. Is what I was saying. 4 wins. I could easily get 4 wins with John Means and Grayson Rodriguez.
Yeah. Instead of some of the pitchers we've been seeing here. And this is what I said. This is why I predicted the record. I forget what I said, like 90 losses or something.
Right.
And the reason I said our offense will be fine, but do we have enough pitching, to win enough games because we didn't do anything, and so we're still seeing these same guys.
Which is why,
which
is also why we stick into hope for next year, because the pitching for next year is unavoidable. Outside of injury, there's no way you do not, outside of injury, you do not have John Means, Grayson Rodriguez, DL Hall, Kyle Bradish in this rotation next year.
What do you mean?
Jordan Lyles. This is your rotation next year.
Yeah.
Outside of injury. John Means' injury means he might not be there on opening day.
Right.
Grayson Rodriguez should be fine. Unless this injury means they hold him back next season to build up innings or whatever, which would be
outrageous. That'd be outrageous.
It'd be outrageous. He needs to be on the roster. Yeah. I'm saying this rotation next year on paper looks so much better than this season, which is why you have hope that this season could have been so much different if you had pitching. Next year, we know we have the pitching. So next season should be a whole lot better.
Maybe, but it's also the reason. I mean, I just think about the Mets, right? The Mets, who on paper got 5 great starters,
right?
And then all of a sudden, their top 2 starters go down with injury, DeGrom and Scherzer, and it's kind of next guy up. Like I feel like you need at least 6 really good starters. Right now, I feel really good about John Means. I feel really good about Grayson Rodriguez. Those are the only two guys I feel great about. 2 of them. I don't feel great about Kyle Bradish. I don't understand why Kyle Bradish throws 97 miles per hour, but opponents have a batting average of 380 against his fastball. How can you throw 97, but hitters are batting 380 off it, and you have a good slider and good curveball? Like his stuff is so good. I don't understand why he gives up so many runs and so many hard hit balls. I don't really get that with Kyle Bradish, so I'm not 100% sold. And I think it's good. I'd rather watch Kyle Bradish out there trying to figure it out and struggle a little bit,
right,
than watch some other guy. But still, I'm not 100% sold on Kyle Bradish. I'm not sold on Bruce Zimmerman by any means. I'm not sold on the other guy I really like on this rotation if I was doing my, Matt's starting pitcher confidence index rankings, I have the most confidence going into next year in Grayson Rodriguez, second in John Means, third actually in Tyler Wells. DL Hall.
Tyler Wells has been a nice surprise.
Yeah, he has been. He's been good. To me, those are my top three guys that I have confidence in. I don't have confidence really in anybody else. I don't have confidence in Dean Kramer. I don't have confidence in Kyle Bradish. I don't have confidence in, in Bruce Zimmerman, obviously. Now, if you want to carry those guys over and kind of have them, I don't have confidence in Jordan Lyles. I don't know if I'll be here next year. If you want to carry those guys as Kyle Bradish and Dean Kramer, like those guys should be battling out for a fifth spot.
Yeah.
And then, your 1-2 is John Means, Grayson Rodriguez. And what I'm saying is you need to sign a legit third starter, Tyler Wells, number 4, and then have those guys play at number 5. But then some pitcher next year will get hurt, Josh. And so,
sure. If not the whole season, at least missing a few starts, which is why depth is important.
Right. And in Norfolk, I mean, you got DL Hall and that's it. And that's it. I don't want to say the cupboard is bare and get people mad at me, but some of those other pitching prospects are a little bit further down the line. And so DL Hall is the next guy up. And again, he's been inconsistent and he has amazing stuff and I hope it gets together. And to me, I said it before, DL Hall is the biggest kind of puzzle piece of this future. If he figures it out and can be effective, that changes everything, because then we have a legit 1 Grayson, 2 Hall, 3 Means, 4 Wells. Like I think that's a legit rotation if Hall figures it out, which I think is, to be determined.
When do you think we see DL Hall up here? Do they let him try to figure it out in the majors?
Yeah, he had a pretty good start. His last start gave up, I think, 3 runs in his first inning. 1 of them earned, and then bounced back and threw, I think, 4 2/3 of well-pitched ball, had 8 strikeouts, and only gave up the 1 earned run. So that's back-to-back good starts by DL Hall. So I don't know, 2 or 3 more. Like I would expect him to be here in July if he continues to pitch well. But we shall see. I mean, I wonder if, like, after what happened to Grayson, like, let's see this guy before something goes wrong. Let's see DL. I mean, that to me, that's the biggest thing. I have to look at the innings pitch for DL Hall. But last year, the year before, like he gets hurt a lot. Yeah. And this year he hasn't gotten hurt. He's been healthy the whole year. And so that's the biggest deal with DL Hall. He stayed healthy.
And that's Buster's argument with Grayson Rodriguez is we had the chance. We could have gotten 3-4 starts out of Grayson. He showed the stuff well enough early in the season that we could have brought him up a month and a half ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get that argument.
I do too.
Yeah. And so I hope we see DL Hall sooner than later. Speaking of which, it was a little bit surprising that Kyle Stowers, I think, a little bit caught people a bit out of surprise because people.
This is COVID helped him out, right?
Yeah. You're so slow with promoting prospects, and then all of a sudden, here's Santander can't play, and so he's on the restricted list, and so here comes Kyle Stowers.
But are we slow to bring up prospects, or is it just pitching prospects that we're slow to bring up?
I mean, people thought we should have brought up Adley before he was.
I guess you're right, but Adley was hurt, so I get what you're saying. You're right. So that Stowers did not follow Adley's path,
right? And
even Richie Martin deserved to get called up earlier.
Oh, I thought Richie Martin should have been there a few weeks ago for Chris Owens.
Right.
And I hope
Richie
Martin. I love Richie Martin. Richie Martin can play every position, Josh. He can play everywhere.
Yes.
And he's fast. Like he to me is that guy you want on your bench. Like he is the guy you want who can, give everyone a rest, including the outfield. He can pinch run and late in the games, be a defensive replacement, super flexible. Like if I'm Brandon Hyde, manager Hyde, like that's the kind of guy I want on my bench. More so than a Chris Owens. So I hope Richie Martin sticks around.
Well, I just wish he could pitch. Here's why Kyle Stowers got the call up. Your other outfielders in Norfolk, as you need an outfielder, you have Yusniel Diaz, Dylan Harris, Robert Newstrom, Johnny Reiser, DJ Stewart. Which one of those guys is on the 40-man and you want to bring them up?
Yeah, none of them.
None.
I don't think any of them are on the 40-man.
Then your option is, do I put Trey Mancini out there?
Well, you could put Richie Martin out there too. Get a little creative, yeah.
Oh, I like that.
And McKenna's still on the team.
That's true. McKenna's still on the team, so you could have gone with McKenna.
But what the other thing Kyle Stowers has
Richie
going
on
for
your
him,
bench.
The other thing that Kyle Stowers has going for him is he's a lefty.
Okay.
So, it's good to have lefties, and we don't have a lot of lefties in our lineup. But no, Kyle Stowers is an interesting guy, right? He hits a lot of home runs. I've never really seen him in person, to be honest. I'm trying to think. Maybe I saw him at Bowie a couple years ago. I don't
What's he,
really
like
remember.
12 years
seeing
old?
him.
I've just seen him on TV. He looks like a little kid.
He's got the bleached hair. He kind of looks like a little kid. And it's surprising because it's the guy who just kind of hits dongs. Like he's supposed to crush the ball, strikes out a lot, but also hits a lot of home runs. So you're expecting some kind of big, huge built dude. And I was watching the pregame and they interviewed him, and there's this little guy, skinny dude with bleached hair. This is the guy hitting all these home runs. So yeah, but good for Kyle Stowers. I think it's terrible. And I don't want to get political here, Josh, but I think it sucks about Santander because, well, what I'm always thinking about is I know a lot of people have talked about. I mean, it hurts that he's not here. He leads the team in home runs. He's a middle lineup hitter.
Yeah.
Kyle Stowers. No offense to Kyle Stowers, he's a downgrade over
Of course.
Santander at this point in their careers. But what really concerns me, I don't really care about the series. What really concerns me, Josh, is doesn't it hurt Santander's trade value if he can't ever play in Toronto?
No, I think Canada.
You don't think it hurts his trade value?
I think Canada will get rid of this rule after this year. But yeah, it means Santander is not getting traded to the Blue Jays this year.
Right, but Josh, if you're playing,
that's right.
The Blue Jays are making the playoffs.
It's all about this year. You're right.
The Blue Jays are making the playoffs, and so if you're trading to any American League team, and knowing you could play Toronto in the playoffs and not have a guy you just traded for, I think other teams will be very reluctant to trade for Aiken or Santander.
Yeah,
after this series,
I understand that,
and that annoys me.
Yeah, I understand that. I think without getting political.
Right, because it hurts his. That's all. I don't care about politics. I care about prospects.
Without
this hurts our chance of getting prospects.
If I have a chance at a World Series, I think I'll take the shot. Like even if I don't want the shot, if you tell me I have a chance at the World Series, I think I might look at it a little differently than if I'm playing on the Orioles. Like that I think of many people.
Is that
who
part of
the
trade negotiations?
I think part of the trade negotiations could be, hey, if it looks like we're going to have to play the Blue Jays, will you get the shot 2 weeks before that series potential?
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't change your mind at this point, I don't see him changing his mind now. But
there's a lot of things. No, I don't know. If let's say I didn't want to get the shot, and you say, hey, I'll give you $1 million if you get the shot. I'm getting that shot.
I don't know. Do players lose paychecks when they're on the restricted list?
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. For him, he's got the money. He's not worried about the money.
Right.
But to get a World Series ring, he ain't getting that in Baltimore.
Josh,
so
I don't
get
think
the chance at that. I'd give up anything.
I don't think you understand these people, though, Josh. I don't think you understand these people and their resistance to the shot. I don't think you understand what level it is.
I think I understand a whole lot more than you think, and I'm just not trying to get political on the podcast.
Okay, because I think they think they're being heroic.
Yes, I get that. No, I think that, but I will also tell you, I live in Florida.
Right. Yeah. So you're around this more than I am. Sure.
I know this extremely well.
But I have friends who have not gotten the shot, and they're proud of it. And
I know
they've given up a lot for it, and I'm kind of shocked by it, to be honest.
I know a lot of people who have avoided the shot. Right. I know even more people who regret getting the shot.
Okay. I know people.
So I talk to these people. I know these people very well. I know the process of Santander, and I know their thought process. I'm very familiar with it. But I still think there's a line. There's a line of something where you just give in.
Right.
And it's like, all right, I'll let the government track me, and I'll let the what else are they scared of? And I'll die early as long as I get that World Series.
Yeah.
It's a risk thing. And if suddenly the risk, the reward outweighs the risk, you can make those changes.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. But again, I go from Mike Glasser's perspective, and I know manager Hyde's annoyed. You could tell him in the pregame when he was interviewed about it. It is what it is. But he was annoyed. And I'm sure Elias is annoyed. But
right.
Josh, do you think Santander, like if you thought he was traded, I really think this has a negative impact on his trade value.
Yeah, and I think it could, and I see that. It's also got to be irritating for him because it's like, who cares about Canada and Canada rules? And
Right.
suddenly Canada rules are affecting your ball club
Right.
when he's followed all the baseball rules. That's just
Right.
annoying.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's true, but you can't change Canada. Like
Exactly.
it is what it is. But yeah, I'm sure it's annoying from that perspective too.
Yeah. So
But I mean, we
guess-
saw that with
I
the
get both
Yankees,
sides.
and a lot of the Yankees, you know, who we thought were not going to get the shot, ended up getting the shot. People like Aaron
Yeah.
Judge, and played. Unfortunately, not
Yeah.
our guy. Not
No
our
one
guys.
told Santander how to get some fake papers.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah. Can we do an investigation there? I would love to
Wasn't
catch
that-
some Yankees cheating. That would be great.
There was some football player that was getting out with fake papers, right?
Yeah, it was Antonio Brown.
That's who it was. Yeah.
Who
Well,
else would
you
it
mean
be?
Santander couldn't give
Yeah.
Antonio Brown
Yeah.
a little phone call.
Yeah. But yeah, and Keegan Aiken too. But yeah, is what it is.
What do we want out of this Toronto series? Tonight's game's a blowout. It's a clear loss. We've got 4 games in Toronto. Toronto's a great baseball team. What do we take from this?
They are. I mean, our division, Josh, is insane. I mean,
We've been saying that for years.
but it is ridiculous this year. Every team right now is in the playoffs in our division. We have kind of all the wild cards, all 3 wild cards in our division. The Yankees, like Toronto, is 35-24. Like that's the 3rd best record in the American League, and they're 8.5 games out of first place. They're 8.5 games out of first place with a record that would put them in first place in 3 other divisions in baseball, and they're 8.5 out of first place. The Yankees have a winning percentage of .733. No one's even close to that. So our division's insane. Red Sox. I mean, the Blue Jays have been playing well and still not gaining ground in the East. But if you look at kind of the starters, Manoah versus Bradish today, I'll tell you that was a loss. Right, that's the game you avoid on my bookie with the Orioles.
You avoid all these games. Which game? Tell me when we're going to win one.
Well, if you want to win one, tomorrow is when you got to win it. You got Lyles versus Kikuchi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. But that looks like a pretty even pitching matchup. If you don't win that one,
I mean, Wednesday's kind of even too, but it's
yeah.
still the
But
Blue Jays
Barrios
offense.
back from the Twins. That guy has nasty stuff. That's the kind of guy who like has really good stuff, but struggle a little bit.
Right.
He's going to strike out the Orioles 10 times. I'm
And
pretty
Zimmerman
confident about that.
is roll the dice. Zimmerman is not the
Right.
guy we used to see.
Well, Zimmerman, the second, I mean, the whole month of May and June, he's been atrocious after a good start. Some people say he's tipping pitches. I've heard all kind of stuff, but
Right.
he's just not good. And so I think it's going to come down to, so you hope you're going to lose this game. You hope you win your second game. That you got to win that game number 2 with Lyles. Then the third game, you're probably going to lose because Zimmerman stinks.
Yeah.
And then it's going to come to game 4.
Game 4, I don't even want to watch.
Right, I'm pumped about this game. This is the one I'm excited about.
I don't want to watch Kevin Gausman, but then you put Tyler Wells up there, and I'm intrigued.
Yeah, like I think it's going to be a good pitching duel. Tyler Wells versus Kevin Gausman. I was watching a little bit of Kevin Gausman's last start where he got really lucky. He only gave like two runs in 6 innings, but he should have given a lot more. He got really lucky with a couple plays.
I like to think when I see Kevin Gausman highlights with the long hair and everything, I like to pretend it's someone else and not the guy who was a Baltimore Oriole.
Yeah.
I like to pretend that's a different Gausman.
But he's got a great ERA at 2.67, but like a 5-5 record. So for some reason, the Blue Jays' great offense must not be producing a lot of runs. So it's going to come down, I think, to that game 4 if we want to split the series. But yeah, you would want to try to split these series. I mean, Toronto's a better team than the Orioles.
Right.
So if you can split the series, that feels like a win. Just like when you split with Kansas City, it kind of felt like a loss. But get through Toronto and Tampa Bay, and then you get some easier teams again.
Yep.
So yeah, but you got to win tomorrow. That's the one. You got to win tomorrow.
Right.
And then hope to win game 4.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Or because there's not even like personal things. I don't know. Maybe Stowers getting a hit we can watch for. But
yeah, I'm excited to see Stowers play. Well, I think he just gets home runs. So if you look at his stat sheet, he just gets home runs and doubles.
So
I don't know if he ever gets a single.
He might get a home run before Adley.
Yeah, he might. Oh yeah, we're still waiting for, homer for Adley. A little surprising, hasn't happened yet. By the way, Josh, if you want good odds,
Yeah.
go to my bookie. Put $10 down on Adley for Rookie of the Year.
Really? For this year?
Yeah,
Because you think he's not performing great, so he's got real good odds.
oh my gosh, the odds are insane. I don't know. I forget what it is, but I looked it up the other day, like a week ago. It was just insane. How because I put at the beginning, I put some money down for Adley Rookie of the Year at the beginning of the year, even before he got hurt.
But now that he got hurt, and
that was like plus 680, and now it's like just ridiculous.
Let's see. MLB.
While you're looking that up, I want to do a little down on the farm.
Good, because Kirsten just played, right?
Oh yeah, Kjerstad. So this is, I think, one of the kind of the biggest news down the farm is Heston Kjerstad is now kind of an everyday player for the Shorebirds this past week, and I think like that alone is a story if he did nothing but kind of show up and play, but he's actually played well, and I was disappointed the game on Sunday was canceled, but before that he's been playing every day in right field, getting on base, getting hits. It's been encouraging, right? Because I mean, I think this year the goal is just see Heston Kjerstad play out the year and play out healthy, but he's actually been hitting the ball and playing well. So, I mean, I wonder how long he'll stay in Single A because, I mean, honestly, he's 23. He's a former first round pick, a college dude, but he's batting 429 with an OPS of over 1,000. So a good opening kind of week. Just been a few games, right? But a good opening week for Heston Kjerstad. So hopefully he continues to play every day down there for Delmarva. And my plan is to get out there the next couple of weeks and see him play in Delmarva. I want to get out there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to go see him play. And eventually, I hope one day we see him up in black and orange. We see him up in the Orioles.
Yep.
I cannot find on my bookie the Rookie of the Year stuff, so it might not be up there anymore.
Okay. You go search MLB and find like the World Series odds and MVP odds. You have those kind of odds still up?
Yeah, I'm not seeing the World Series odds, so I'm doing something wrong.
Okay. All right, I'll show you later.
Yeah. So you'll have to look that up and post it on Twitter or something.
All right. The other thing I want to mention about that down on the farm, the Norfolk Tides lineup has been given a makeover, both with coming out of injury and the call-ups to Bowie we talked about last week. And I tell you what, Norfolk team looked pretty weak a couple weeks ago. They look pretty legit now. The top, 3 guys, it used to be 4 if you had Stowers in there. But you lead off with Vavra, who seems to be a legit prospect, who's batting 333 with an OPS of 866. Had a great week this past week, coming back from injury. Then you get the call-up of Westberg playing shortstop, who's batting 455 since his call-up. It's been a week, but still a week of batting 455 with an OPS of 1.387, insane. And then Henderson, who just walks all the time, batting 278, but an on-base percentage over 500 and an OPS of 963. So just watch the top 3, and when Stowers comes back, the top 4 of the Norfolk Tides, because I think all 3 of those guys, and 4 if Stowers is there, could be big parts of the team next year. So that's pretty fun that we have so many top hitting prospects at Norfolk right now.
It's what makes the future of this team interesting.
Yeah, and I mean these are guys in Westberg and Henderson that I feel like we've been following for a while down there in Bowie and stuff, and now they're just one step away, and they're off to really hot starts. So that's fun to see because sometimes these players struggle when they're caught up, but they're both off to hot starts. So something to watch for if they continue to play well at Norfolk. And Norfolk's been winning baseball games now too with them there. So that's fun and putting up a ton of runs. So that's been fun to see.
Yeah, BetMGM has Adley at plus 1,200. So you bet your $10, you win $120.
Yeah, that's not a bad return on investment.
Nope, not bad.
Yeah. All right.
So, all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to point out, I'm not sure if you had any more down on the farm, but I was going to point out we had a couple listeners ask for how to listen to our intro song, Welcome to Birdland, like outside of the podcast. I guess they want to listen to just the music and not you and I talk, or they want to make it part of their like Orioles pump up, like let's get ready for the game, and they want to use our intro song.
That's
so
cool.
there's now an album on Spotify and coming soon to Apple Music called Section 336, and it's all of our theme songs. We've had 5 theme songs over the years, and all 5 of them are now in an album on Spotify, soon to be on Apple Music as well. So just search Section 336, and it'll come up with the podcast. But click on albums, and you get all of our music.
Oh, very cool.
So that way you can add it to your Orioles playlist, whatever pumps you up for the game and gets you ready.
Yeah, that's good. Go into the game music. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever plays the music over at Oriole Park, feel free to use our intro. You can play Welcome to Birdland. Go ahead. I know you just picked up that It's a Maryland Thing song, and people are excited you're playing that in the stadium now. I think people would really get hyped up for Welcome to Birdland.
Yeah, I agree. All right, ready to get out of here?
Yeah, let's do it. We didn't talk about Paul McCartney. You didn't go see Paul McCartney?
I did not see Paul McCartney. I think a lot of people did, and good for them.
Right.
Seems like a good show.
But I go to that stadium to see baseball.
Yeah. People are into Paul McCartney, so good for him. I hope it made, the Angelos has a lot of money that they can then spend on Carlos Correa.
Yeah.
Or if Buster's right, just put in their pockets.
Right. That ATM machine looks pretty nice last night.
Yeah, seriously. But no, that's part of That's part of John and Lou, or maybe John, or maybe Lou. I don't know.
Birdland Entertainment or something, right?
Yeah, about something that they want to
do
more
O's
of.
Entertainment.
Yeah. And if I see another advertisement for Flo Rida on June 17th or whenever it is,
but that's a weird event because it's not just Flo Rida. It's Flo Rida and Smash Mouth and like Cisco or something.
Oh, really? I think
they're all, or that's 2 separate events, but it's like the most random people. Yeah. It's like, hey, we can't do country this year because they'll say that we're moving to Nashville, so let's do something else.
Yeah. No, it's just they just advertise it a lot on the games. Like, dude, us Oriole fans watch every game. You don't need to advertise things all the time. Every game.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're, well, that's like MLB TV. It's always the same little ads all the time.
And maybe that's too because I watch in the MASN app, so I feel like all the same commercials every time.
Right, exactly.
In the MASN app.
Yeah, you also get a nice delay. But I'm not going to complain. The MASN app's awesome. It's there.
Yeah, it's better than no MASN app. Which
exactly.
Is the case. Yeah,
take it. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I think that about covers it. That covers our Orioles news. Head on over to section336.com. Click on the support up in the top or in the store and pick up a t-shirt. I'm working on some new t-shirts because of the Welcome to Birdland excitement of getting that album over on Spotify. I have a Welcome to Birdland t-shirt that'll be up in the next few days. I've been working on. So working on that and ways that you can support us over there so we can get things rolling.
All right. If you like our show, go ahead and leave us a review on iTunes.
5 stars.
Any new reviews on iTunes, Josh?
I haven't taken a look. So we're going to say no. Not this week,
one.
But there is one?
Yeah. Well, I just pulled
you.
it up. The review reads, if you're an Orioles fan, this is the podcast. If you like baseball, you will enjoy the show. So I think that pretty much sums it up.
Straight to the point.
Yeah, I agree. And it's true. If you like baseball and Orioles, you'll enjoy the show.
And I like the username. Enzo's Dad Podcast.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice that. Yeah.
NSO Dad's Podcast.
All right.
So, the Orioles fan, that's a cool, I'll take it.
Yep. So we would appreciate even more reviews. Go ahead and give us 5 stars and write us a nice comment there on iTunes or wherever you listen to your show.
Yeah. Let us know what you think about this brother drama because no Orioles podcast knows about brother drama like Matt and I.
Yes, we have special insight into the brother
Why
drama.
would you listen to another Orioles podcast when you could get a podcast done by brothers when the whole drama is about brothers?
Yes. If you listen to other podcasts, you'll just be hearing one side of the brother drama.
Exactly.
Here you get to hear both sides of the brother drama.
And you know what? Well, let's put that out also for Peter and Lou. This is the podcast to come on.
Yeah.
We'll take the back seat.
Two brothers talking to two brothers. Yeah.
2 brothers. Come fill in. Let's
Lou,
get it out there.
Lou, I'll get your back. Josh, you can have John's back.
That's fine. John and I will get along fine.
Yeah, I think Lou and I will get along fine. I like Lou. I'm about to do some petty stuff to Josh too. I like that.
All right,
So-
I'm Team John.
All right, I'm Team Lou. There we go.
Wrap this up.
All right. Yeah. So you can follow us on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Section336. You can follow Josh on Twitter.
At Josh Soroka.
Thanks for listening, boys and girls. And as always, go O's.